is, what does it feel like?
What does it feel like? Let's say there's no magic potion in this, just water, okay. Let's say you never had the experience of drinking water, and I have, and if I try to describe to you how it feels to drink water, would I ever get across to you? It doesn't matter how articulate I am, will I ever get across to you?
Trying.
Could you? Could you describe to a man who has not ever had the experience of drinking water what it really feels like to drink water? Something as simple as this. It won't get across, isn't it? So anything which is not in your experience, if people talk about it, it doesn't matter how articulate they are, how they come out, invariably it only leads to a misunderstanding. So let's not talk about how it feels, let's talk about technically what it means.
Good stuff.
That you can understand, I know. If I say how it feels, I will end up saying things which… because whatever you speak, when we use language, I have to take care that I'm logical, isn't it? What you're referring to as enlightenment is not a logical process, it's well beyond that. So if I speak illogically here, would you sit with me? You won't. You won't, isn't it? Next 5 minutes if I speak illogically with you, you'll want to leave, isn't it so? Yes. You will sit here only if I speak logically. That means you have made it very clear to me, don't talk enlightenment. Okay? We'll talk about it, not… So what is it that we are referring? It is like you want to eat a laddu, but you want to eat it through your ears. Very difficult, quite impossible, isn't it? You just have to understand it can only go here, it can't go here. So enlightenment is that difficult, understand?
It never seems that.
Huh?
It never seems simple.
I'm saying it's that difficult. Even if you use both ears, still the laddu won't go. Even a piece of it won't go. But if you just use the right inlet, it goes. It's because people do not make the necessary effort to find which way. They want to go the way they know. It looks impossible. It is like you're riding a bullock cart, but you want to go to the moon. Somebody gives you a horsewhip and tells you, really whip the bulls, you'll get there. You won't get there. The reason why it's become so difficult is because too much nonsense has been spoken about it. If nobody had said anything about it, many people would have found their way. Too much nonsense has been said about it and a whole lot of confusion created. People have written too many things about it without knowing what it is. People have said too many things about it without having a clue what they're talking about, which has left people absolutely confused. At least, if people shut up, human intelligence is capable of knowing this. Because if you have an uncluttered intelligence, if a human being grows up with an uncluttered intelligence, when I say uncluttered, if your intelligence functions without being identified with anything in particular, then knowing the inner dimension becomes a natural process. Right now, that possibility has been taken away because right from day one, the parents are working hard to get the children identified with their family and their stupid values and whatever. The teachers are working super hard. You okay for a joke? I'm supposed to be serious? No? On a certain day, a bull strayed into the forest. He saw lush green grass and he went grazing, inside. He went deep into the forest. A few days and weeks living there, he grew fat on food and no work. Then an old lion, who was well beyond his prime, was having difficulty hunting the wild animals, saw this fat bull. Easier to stalk and kill a bull than a deer. So he looked for his time and then pounced on him and killed him and ate him up. His stomach became real full. Then with great satisfaction he roared. A few hunters were passing that way. They heard the roar and tracked down the lion and shot him dead. The moral of the story is, when you're so full of bull, you should not open your mouth. But all the time these people are opening their mouth. If they all shut up for some time, it will be very natural for every human being to long to know. Right now they're just destroying that by giving ready-made solutions and all kinds of nonsense to believe in. It is very natural for your intelligence to probe at everything, isn't it? And how can you ignore yourself? You have ignored yourself because they have always made you look up there at some god that they themselves have not seen. Because of this, enlightenment has been transported or exported to heaven. Otherwise, it's simple, it's the most obvious. When you heard of Arjuna. So when Krishna went on talking truth, Arjuna said, where the hell is this truth that you're talking about? Where is it? Because if I ask you, is it here, you say no. If I ask you, is it there, you say no. At another time, if I ask you, is it here, you say yes. If I ask you, is it there, you say yes. What is this nonsense? Where is it? Tell me where is it, I'll go get it. He's a warrior. So Krishna laughed and said, the ultimate truth about life is at the tip of your nose. Now, there are many schools of yoga who are intensely focusing on the tips of their noses. You try focusing on the tip of your nose, within 2 minutes you'll get a headache, you'll not get enlightenment. So, all he's saying is, it's the most obvious. The problem is it's here, but your senses are set there. So you just need a little bit of turning around, that's all.